She sold bananas under the sun to fund a man, believing love will always win, but he called her classless at last. This is the story of Adise. Every morning, before the sun had fully opened its eyes, Adise was already on the road. A basin of bananas balanced on her head, wrapped neat in cloth, and a pair of worn sandals slapping the red dirt beneath her feet. She knew every pothole on that road, every turn, every shortcut. She had walked it 1,000 times, and she would walk it 1,000 more, because this was her trade, and this was how she ate, and this was how she saved. Adise sold bananas. She had been selling bananas for years, since she was old enough to carry the basin herself without help. She set up at the market every single day, rain or shine, and she called out to the people passing by with a voice that carried. Some days she made good money. Some days she made almost nothing. But every naira she earned, every single one, she did not spend on herself. She saved it. Because Adaeze had a dream, a big one, the kind of dream that sits in your chest and will not let you sleep at night. She wanted to be a cabin crew. She wanted to wear that uniform. She wanted to walk the aisle of a plane at 30,000 feet, serving people, smiling, moving through the sky like it was made for her. She had seen the adverts on television at the shops near the market. She had watched the women in those uniforms, poised, confident, going places, and something inside her had caught fire. That fire had never gone out. So every naira from the bananas went into an envelope she kept hidden in her room. Slowly, patiently, she was saving for the course, the training, the fees, everything she needed to make the dream real. And she was getting there. Not fast, but she was getting there. Until the day Emeka arrived. He came into her life the way a smooth river stone comes into your hand. You don't know how it got there. You just look down one day and it's there, and it feels so right you close your fingers around it. Emeka was a man who knew how to talk. Not loud, soft, the kind of soft that makes you lean in. He had city manners, clean clothes, a way of looking at you that made you feel like you are the only person in the market, in the town, in the whole world. He came to her store one afternoon and bought bananas he did not need. Then he came back the next day, and the next. By the fourth day, he was not buying bananas anymore. He was just talking, asking her name, asking about her life, listening, actually listening the way no man had listened to Adaeze in a long time. She told him about the dream, about the cabin crew, about the uniform and the sky, and the envelope of naira she was filling little by little. She told him because he asked, and because the way he looked at her when she spoke made her believe he actually cared. Emeka nodded. He smiled. He said, "That is beautiful, Adaeze. You deserve that. You deserve everything." Nobody had said that to her in a while. Over the weeks that followed, Emeka became a fixture in her life. He showed up, he lingered, he walked her home from the market sometimes, carrying nothing because she would not let him touch her basin, but walking beside her, talking, making her laugh. He told her about himself. He was studying to become a pharmacist, he said, but the money had become a problem. His family was not helping the way they used to. He was struggling. He did not ask her for anything, not yet. That is the trick, you see. The ones who want to take from you, the clever ones, they never ask first. They wait. They let you offer. And Adise, with her good heart and her open hands, offered. "How much do you need?" she asked him one evening as they sat outside her mother's compound, the sun going down and the air cooling just enough to be comfortable. Emeka looked at her with something in his eyes that looked exactly like gratitude. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. "I don't want to be a burden," he said. "You are not a burden," she said. "Tell me how much." He told her, and Adise went home that night and counted out naira from the envelope that was supposed to buy her wings, and gave it to him the next morning, like it was nothing, like it was just bananas. Then he told her something that changed everything. They were sitting together one night under the stars, and Emeka took her hand, gently, like she was something fragile, and he said, "Adise, when I finish this course, when I become a pharmacist, I am going to marry you." She looked at him. "Promise me," she said. "I promise," he said, "on my life. When I finish, you will be my wife." The words settled into her chest like warmth, like something she had been waiting to hear without knowing she was waiting. That night, Adise lay in bed and stared at the ceiling and smiled in the dark. And for the first time in a long time, the dream in her chest shifted. It did not disappear, but it moved over, made room, because now there was something else there too, a future, a shared one, a life that was not just hers alone. After he finishes, she told herself, after he becomes what he is supposed to become, then we build together. Then everything falls into place. So she kept giving. The money flowed out of that envelope like water from a cracked pot. Textbook fees, exam fees, transport to the city where his school was, a deposit on a small room near campus so he could be closer to his lectures. Each time Emeka asked, Adise counted out the naira and handed it over without a single complaint. Each time he thanked her, kissed her forehead, reminded her of the promise. Soon, my love, soon this will all be worth it. But it was not just money. When Emeka needed someone to help him study, Adise sat with him for hours, sometimes whole nights, going over his notes, asking him the questions he needed to be asked. She could not always understand the words on the page herself, but she learnt them by heart so she could read them back to him. She memorized drug names and dosages just so she could quiz him properly before his exams. When he was sick, and he got sick more than once, she brewed the bitter herbs her mother taught her and sat beside him until the fever broke. When he was discouraged, when he said the exams were too hard and maybe he should give up, she was the one who held his face in her hands and said, "No, you are not giving up. I did not pour all of this into you for you to stop now. Keep going." She poured herself into him, her time, her labor, her patience, her faith. And all the while, the envelope in her room grew thinner and thinner, until one day she opened it and found almost nothing left inside. The cabin crew course, the training fees, the dream she had been feeding naira into for years, it was gone, spent, poured into another man's future, while hers sat dry and waiting. But she did not let herself feel it, not fully, because he had promised, and she believed in the promise the way some people believe in God, completely, without proof, without condition. He promised, she told herself. He promised. Her mother saw it. Of course she did. One evening, stirring the pot and watching Adaeze from across the fire, she said quietly, "Adaeze, this man, what has he given you back?" Adaeze did not answer right away. Then she said, "He promised me, Mama. He is going to marry me. When he finishes, everything will come back." Her mother stirred the pot, said nothing, but the silence in that kitchen that night was loud enough to fill a whole room. 3 years. 3 long years of bananas and naira and nights spent believing. And then Emeka finished. He passed. He got his license. He became a pharmacist, a real one with papers and a stamp and a title the world would respect. The news reached Adaeze on a Tuesday. Someone called from the city and told her, and she stood in the middle of the market with her basin of bananas and her mouth slightly open and her heart beating so fast she thought it might crack open right there. He did it, she thought. We did it. Now the promise. She went home that night and sat outside and looked at the sky and whispered, "Thank you, God. Now it is time. Now he keeps his word." Emeka came back on a Friday, but he did not come to her door. He came to the market, to her stall, where she was selling bananas the way she sold them every day, and he stood there with his hands in his pockets and his face wearing an expression she had never seen on him before. It was not the soft face, not the face that made her lean in. This face was flat, decided, already finished with something. "Adise," he said. "Emeka," she said, and she smiled because she truly thought that this was it, that he had come to tell her the next step, the wedding, the life, the together. He did not smile back. "I need to talk to you," he said. "I am moving. I have been offered a position at a hospital in another state. I am leaving." "Okay," she said. "When do we go?" The word "we" hung in the air between them. Emeka looked at her, and something in his eyes closed, like a door shutting quietly in a dark house. "Adise," he said, "I am not taking you with me." The market noise, the calling, the bargaining, the radios playing, the children running, all of it seemed to go far away, like someone had turned the volume down on the whole world. "What do you mean?" she asked. Her voice was steady, but her hands at her sides were shaking. "I have met someone, a woman. We are getting married." Adise stared at him. The banana sat in the basin. The naira she had earned that morning sat in her pocket. The sun was still in the sky. Everything was exactly where it had been 5 minutes ago. But something huge and invisible had just broken. "You promised me," she said quietly, almost a whisper. Emeka shrugged. Not a big shrug, not a dramatic one. A small, easy shrug, the kind you give when someone reminds you of something you consider unimportant, like a receipt you have already thrown away. Adaeze, you have been very helpful to me. Truly, I am grateful, but I cannot marry you. Why? The word came out sharp, like something tearing. He looked at her, and for the first time she saw it clearly. There was no guilt in his face, no shame, no apology waiting behind his teeth. Only a calm, quiet certainty. The certainty of a man who had already made up his mind and saw no reason to justify it. You are not educated. You did not go to school. You sell bananas, Adise. This woman I have found, she went to university. She has a degree. She is my class. He paused. You are not my class. You never were. He said it the way you state the weather, like it was simply a fact of the world, like Adaeze was the one who was supposed to understand and accept and nod and move on. Illiterate, the word sat behind his eyes, even if he did not say it out loud. Adaeze heard it. She heard everything. She stood there, in the middle of the market, in front of her basin of bananas, in the middle of the life she had built with her own 2 hands, and she felt the ground shift beneath her feet. Not the ground of the market, the ground of everything she had believed, the promise, the future, the years she had poured out like water into sand. Gone. All of it gone. She had no savings left. The envelope was empty. The cabin crew dream, the uniform, the sky, the life she had been quietly building toward before he arrived. She had handed it all over. Every naira, every morning, every hour spent studying his notes and nursing his sick body and whispering, keep going, when he wanted to quit. She had built him with her own hands and her own money and her own stubborn, aching belief. And now he stood before her, tall, credentialed, polished, proud, and told her she was not enough to stand beside him. Adaeze opened her mouth, but no words came, because what do you say to a man like that? What do you say when the person you carried has just told you that you are too small to be seen? She said nothing. Emeka nodded, like her silence confirmed something he had already known. He turned, he walked away from the stall, down the market lane, toward the road that would take him to his boss, his new city, his new woman, his new life. He did not look back. Not once. That night, Adaeze sat alone in her room. She did not cry, not at first. She sat on the edge of her bed and stared at the wall and breathed, slow, careful breaths, the way you breathe when you are trying to hold yourself together. Then she looked at the envelope. It was still there, on the shelf where she kept it. She reached for it, opened it, turned it over in her hands. Empty. She held it for a long time. Then she looked out the window at the sky. Dark now, scattered with stars, and somewhere up there, a plane was crossing, its small red and white lights blinking steady and slow, moving through the night like it had somewhere important to be. Adaeze watched it until it disappeared, and something stirred inside her, something that had been buried under years of giving and hoping and believing in someone else's promise, something that had been quiet, not dead, just quiet, waiting. It was her dream, her original dream, the one that had been there before Emeka, the cabin crew, the uniform, the sky. It was still there. I am still here, she whispered to the empty envelope, to the empty room, to herself. The people in that town told this story for a long time afterward. They told it to warn the young ones. They told it to remind people what it costs when you pour everything into someone who was never going to pour anything back. They told it because it was true, because they had seen it happen right there in the market to a woman who deserved better. But mostly, they told it because of what Adaeze did next. She did not chase Emeka. She did not beg him to come back or change his mind. She did not sit in that room and let the grief swallow her whole. She got up the next morning. She put the basin of bananas on her head. She walked to the market the same way she had walked it for years, past the tire sellers, past the women frying akara, past the old men who sat and watched the world move. She found her spot. She set down her basin and she sold. But this time, every naira went back into the envelope, and this time it stayed there, every single one. She saved, she researched, she asked questions at the banks, at the offices, at the places that handed out information to people who wanted to change their lives. She learned, slowly, painfully, the way you learn when no one is doing it for you. She filled out forms, she made calls, she kept going. And one day, months later, maybe longer, time moves differently when you are rebuilding something from nothing. Adaeze held a new letter in her hands, an acceptance. She read it slowly, carefully, every word. Then she folded it and she put it in the envelope, right on top of the naira, right where it belonged. The day Adaeze finally wore that uniform, the day she walked down the aisle of a plane for the first time, not as a passenger, but as cabin crew, her back straight and her smile real, and the whole sky stretching out beneath her, she did not think of Emeka. She did not think of the promise he made beneath no particular tree on no particular night. She did not think of the years, or the naira, or the empty envelope. She thought of the bananas. She thought of the mornings. She thought of the woman she had been, quiet, stubborn, still believing, long before anyone else believed in her. And she thought, I did this. I built this. Not him. Me. The sky was hers.